Jay, thanks very much for joining us. You know, we spoke last week at the CNBC Financial Advisor Conference, and you said that cybersecurity concerns were foremost on your mind right now as the head of the SEC. Can you explain us what's worrying you? Is there some specific attacks that have occurred recently? Bring us up to date.
Well, Bob, thanks for having me on again. And we spoke at the end, and I used the term cyber hygiene. And look, cyber risks have not gone away with the unfortunate, unforeseen risks we faced with COVID and other uncertainties in our economy. They're still there, and they're there more than ever. And let me put a point on that, Bob. We have a cybersecurity and information security agency. It's part of DHS. Just in the month of October, they've issued 30 alerts. These alerts are instructive because they go across industries, they go across firm size, they go across consumers. And cybersecurity incidents are on the rise, and it's something that we all need to continue to pay attention to. I know companies are burdened in many ways. Our registrants are burdened in many ways right now, but this is one of those things that we just can't lose sight of.
Well, you put out some very specific warnings in the last couple of months. I read one on ransomware, and you brought it up to me. You've seen an increase in the sophistication and number of attacks against brokers and dealers, the financial system, using different kinds of ransomware, which I've talked to your staff, implies they're getting a lot more sophisticated. Tell us a little bit about this. Is this really a major concern for the financial community?
Yes, Bob, it is a concern. It's a concern for the financial community. We've seen some stories about public hospitals recently and denial of service attacks. We've seen denial of service attacks in our financial industry. Fortunately, they have not become systemic. Usually, that's because of good information sharing across firms and across the government. One of the things I want to emphasize is that people should reach out. You're not alone in this. If your firm has a denial of service attack, reach out to the SEC, reach out to the banking regulators. We coordinate. We have been able to share that information quickly and make sure that other firms patch. Patching is extremely important. If you look at the CISA website that I mentioned, you'll see that many common software systems require constant patching. People need to continue to patch. I can't emphasize enough that cyber hygiene helps us all.
Mr. Chair, it's Kelly here. I'm curious if this warning that you're delivering coming on election eve, if that timing is just a coincidence. And also, since we saw the DDoS attacks on the New Zealand Stock Exchange, I think it was earlier this year, would you include our stock exchanges in this warning as potentially at risk?
Well, Kelly, good questions. Look, any time that there's general uncertainty, and I don't know, I think the COVID situation is probably more so than any particular election in that way. But let's just say any time there is uncertainty, threat actors generally increase their activity. So, was this planned that way? No, but is it serendipitous that we're talking about today? I think so. And to your very good specific question about critical infrastructure such as exchanges, clearinghouses, and the like, yes, we do focus on those. They have a specific, I would say a specific regulatory regime through our regulation SCI. These 40 or so entities in the United States, we're in constant contact with them, and they do cooperate with each other. But as you well point out, Kelly, if you were going to pick a target, you would want to pick a critical infrastructure target.
Chair Clayton, what should you do if you are the victim of a ransomware attack? If, let's say, you're the CEO of a public company or a small business, or you're an individual, what do you do?
Well, I think a very good question. On the individual level, look, prevention is so important. Like I said, practice good cyber hygiene. Do not use predictable passwords. Use multi-level password protection. Transition that to businesses. First thing you do is you have good backup systems. You have multi-level backup systems. Very sophisticated cyber attacks actually attack your backup system. So you need to be cognizant of that and think about that. And then if, unfortunately, you are subject to an effective denial service attack, reach out to law enforcement, reach out to us. we can help you with our experience, and we can get the information around so that it doesn't get around the rest of the system.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.